Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are talking about embracing our cozy girl era. I have been in a season of life recently where I am just craving more cozy, slower, more peaceful things in life. And it was really like pulling me months and months and months ago, probably in the holiday season, where I just kept feeling called to slow down, to get into maybe something artsy. I think I've shared that with you guys a little bit as well, to be more creative. At the time, I didn't really know what it was, but I just had this like feeling that would not escape me. So I have been in a place right now where I'm really embracing what it means to live a slower life, to live a cozier life. And I want to talk about that because for women especially, it comes with it can come with, for a lot of us, a lot of guilt, a lot of thoughts that we're wasting time if we're not being productive, a lot of anxieties. So I want to talk about that and how to have that, balance between having to get stuff done and also wanting to ease into things a little bit more as well. And, you know, everybody might have a different interpretation of what that means, but I'm going to just share for you like what's been working for me and kind of my interpretation of this cozy era. So, I have entered my cozy girl era, and what's really important about this is that I am not judging myself for this. I am someone who at one point in my life many years ago, really mostly in my 20s, maybe early 30s, always had to be out and about. So the weekend came and from Friday to Sunday, I was a party girl, I was crazy, I was out doing all the things. I was the anti version of a homebody. I did not relate to people that said they were homebodies. I thought that was boring. I thought it was just like, why would you waste your time doing that? And maybe it's an age thing too, because as I got older and kind of settled into my life and didn't have that need or desire to constantly be on the go partying and being wild and having children, having a dog, having my own home, I have really kind of settled into that, and especially for like big events, I just could not imagine why you would be at home when you could be out doing things, right? And y'all know I love to be on the go. I still do. I still go out and I do adventures and I go places and I love to travel and I do things like that. But I'm talking about, here's an example. Like, let's say 4th of July. 4th of July used to always be, let's go to the beach, let's go to the ocean front, go to the fireworks show, go in the crowd and all these things. And you know, the past 5 years since we moved into the house I'm in now, we have a pool, and that's a big part of our life in the summer, and we kinda started this tradition in 2020 just because we were pretty much forced to be here, right, with everything that was going on, and I was pregnant as well, that we spend the entire day at home. We have this massive pool day from morning until nighttime. We let the kids stay up late because we can always see fireworks from our house while we're swimming. We do our own little, poppers and stuff in the backyard. We get the glow sticks going, the fire going, put all the lights, like we have blow up balls we put in the pool with glow sticks, and it's just so fun. And let me tell you, you could not pay me to be out there on 4th of July at the beach, especially Virginia Beach. It's absolutely insane to deal with the crowds, to deal with the traffic, to deal with just the price to park. Some of the lots are asking for 30 to $50 just to park your damn car and you're a resident, So I want no part of that anymore. And that's been like a gradual buildup over the years. It isn't like this just happened, right? But I've really been leaning more into and like I like being home now. It's my safe place. My things are here, and easing into doing hobbies and things that are slower and cozier. And that has just really, I don't know, I'm just really like in this era right now and I am loving it. And I don't have that guilt. I still work on it. Let me be clear. I still am working on that a little bit. Really make sure that I am telling myself, you don't have to be productive. all the time. You don't have to be doing money making tasks all the time. It is okay to just be. And I have been intentionally scheduling and pushing back on schedules actually to make sure that I have this time built in where I'm not stressed out all the time with deadlines and things like that. But that's where I want to talk about. I'm going to get into some misconceptions in a second, but one of the other things I wanted to talk about as it relates to weight is thinking that if I'm not constantly moving, if I'm not constantly burning calories or actively exercising or dieting in every crevice of my day, that somehow, this is an old belief from many years ago, that somehow I am going to gain back all of my weight or gain more weight if I'm not like if I'm sitting on the couch watching a movie, oh my god, I'm being lazy. I'm gonna put like the as if the weight is gonna just be it's like a magnet, right? And it's gonna come right back on because I'm sitting there watching a movie or diamond painting or whatever. So, you've got to work on your own beliefs, your own misconceptions about what it means to be more cozy and more soft and more still. And you don't have to be productive, and productive meaning making money, checking a box, helping others, burning a calorie, burning off fat every waking minute of your life. You need to have this time carved out that is just for you. So, some of the misconceptions out there is that being cozy, living a softer life means that you're lazy. That is not the case. I am definitely not a lazy person. And what also ties into that is I've heard people say things like, well, you got to stop this hustle grind culture and just go to your soft, cozy era, right? Yes, I agree that we have got to reduce the amount of hustle and grind that is just built into our society and into our culture. That is something that I have definitely worked on, since I started working for myself and working from home and trying to really be more intentional about those things. However, however, unless you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth or from a trust fund or you have come on, inherited all kinds of money and you don't really have to worry about work, we don't have that luxury, right? There are still ebbs and flows where you're going to be in hustle season. You're going to be in grind. Like you got to grind and grind and grind to get shit done. And it depends on your career field. It depends on your lifestyle. It depends on, what's going on around us. Like in this economy, this society, everything that's going on right now, I've shared with y'all like my industry, which is the instructional design industry, took a massive hit over the past 12 to 18 months. And the whole field, the whole dynamic, things changed. And so, because of that, this past year, I have really been in hustle mode and trying to build back and make more connections and get more gigs and more contracts. And it is a constant grind and hustle. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be doing that forever. So that's what I mean by this is you're going to have ebbs and flows. If you are an accountant, right? If you're an accountant, you know, January through April, you are not really going to have a lot of time carved out in your day for cozy era time, right? You're just not because that is the season of your business or your industry where everybody's working overtime. Everybody's putting in work. Everybody's grinding to put in those hours to finish those tax returns. Every, profession, career, everybody looks a little bit different, right? So I want you to keep that in mind. So when you hear these people out here with this toxic positivity talking about just, let go of all the hustle, let go of all the grind. Yeah, let's try to have a better balance for sure. Because if you don't, you will burn out and you're going to be miserable. However, right, we have seasons where we have to hustle and grind or our families don't get fed. That is the reality. I am always the one that's going to give you that dose of reality. You've got to find the right balance here. And sometimes you won't have time to come home and do your little soft hobbies. You won't have time to get outside and enjoy nature and do the things. But if we can be intentional, if we could be thinking about it and figuring out how to carve the time appropriately, we can always make it work. So, you know, yes, we're all tired. We're tired of hustling. We're tired of grinding. So I want to say to that too, if you are in a position in your life where it's unrelenting, right? There's no break, there's no end in sight, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. That is a time for you to take a really big look at what it is you're doing. And is this where you're supposed to be? Is this what you're meant to be doing? Do you really want to surround yourself with toxic things and toxic people? And I saw this TikTok the other day. This girl had recorded herself, and the video was about saying, I'm now standing up for myself in the corporate setting. I was like, yes, you go. And she was having this conversation, I assume with the manager or HR, like letting them know how, every time she asks a question or whatever, they belittle her, they make her feel stupid or like she's incompetent when she's just trying to gain clarity so that she can, proceed with doing the thing. And at the end, the person on the other end of the line was like, "Are you done?" And what I want to say to that, I could just feel the culture there. I could feel the toxicity, I could feel the attack, and I have been in a very similar situation, which is what was the instigator that triggered me to start working for myself and going home to work. And let me tell you this, when you're in a certain circumstance like that, you once that dynamic changes and you're having those kind of conversations and people are treating you in that way, trust and believe they are out to get you. They are going to find a way to get rid of you. They are putting a target on your back, and every little thing that you do will be a problem. It will be questioned. It is time to go. So that is just an example. But if you are in a place where there is no break, there is no rest, you need to reevaluate that part of your life and start making some changes. And those changes aren't easy. They don't happen quickly. They don't happen fast, but it's time. It's time. It's time to do that. And if you're a single parent, if you are, not even a single parent, but y'all are out here grinding, trying to make a living, like just use the takeaway that I have for you is that yes, a little bit of hustle and a little bit of grind is always going to be necessary. It is. It's just part of life. We don't get to opt out. We don't get to opt out of that. But you don't have to hustle 24/7 to prove your worth. You don't have to be losing weight every week all the time to prove your worth. You don't have to make a certain amount of money to prove your worth. It was like I had a really busy day at work and my husband got home and he was like, I was like, I'm just having one of those days. I haven't had time to come up for air. I feel bad. Like I haven't done much with the kids because it's one of the days that he works in the daytime and they're home from school, right? So he was like, get ready. Let's go. We're going to go for a walk and we're going to go to the beach or whatever. So we actually, I just love being with someone like that who knows what you need without you having to say it. And we packed up our stuff. It's 5 in the afternoon. We put all of our stuff to go crabbing in the back of the truck. We go down to the place that we like to go to and we spent the evening crabbing. It was like all the anxiety, all of that. Oh my God, how am I going to get it done in this deadline and that deadline? Like all of it goes away. And we caught like 30 crabs, I want to say, in like less than an hour, went home, cooked them. Perfect summer night, right? Core memories for everybody. But while I was getting everybody's things, I had to keep saying out loud to myself, you are not in a rush. Why are we rushing all the time? Do you ever catch yourself feeling anxious, like the pot is about to burst and you're rushing from here and you're rushing to there and you're worried about this and you're worried about that? I'm like, Amy, I was like, it doesn't matter what time we get there. No matter what, we don't care. It's the summer. Kids don't have summer school tomorrow. Frank is off of work tomorrow. It doesn't matter when we get home tonight. We don't have to be in a rush. So I was gathering the towels and all the things to take with us and everything. And, you know, we don't have to prove our worth by being productive every waking minute of the day. Thinking that we have to listen to a business podcast, we have to be reading a business book, we have to be doing this and that. Like we get to just be. And you're not running a race. Like you're not running a race. And one of the other things that I will encourage you to do if you are in the workforce as well is to push back on your deadlines. I have never been someone who thinks we need to have a deadline for the sake of having a deadline. If you're working on a big project and it's going to take a little bit longer than that was anticipated, unless if that project is causing a launch to be delayed, like the launch can't be moved, right? Or the training class can't be moved. That's one thing. But when we have these deadlines because we want to create something, improve something, whatever it is in the workplace, right? We don't have to meet a deadline for the sake of meeting the deadline. It takes as long as it takes. And I'm not saying to drag it out and be slow and, all of that. But what I'm saying is, like, someone will ask me, "Hey, well, when do you think you're gonna have this done?" And why is our first thought to think they're judging how long they are going to judge me when I tell them how long I think it's gonna take. So we take what we think. If they ask us on Monday and we know it's probably gonna take me till Friday to realistically get this done and have enough margin and space to be able to do the thing. So then we say, "Oh, I'll have it to you on Wednesday." And your week is packed. You got all kinds of personal things going on. You have other work projects going on, and in order for you to show, because you're trying to show your worth, in order for you to show your worth, you're going to stay up late, probably on Tuesday night, and you are going to hustle and grind when everybody's asleep, when you are half asleep, and you are, let's face it, you're useless after a certain hour in the evening. We all are. And you're basically breaking your back, killing yourself to produce something on a false deadline. And so I've been finding myself putting more cushion and knowing that people that know me and that have worked with me long enough, they know I'm a productive person. They know I produce well. They know I'm good at what I do. And I know I'm good at what I do. And I am not someone who likes to rush through things to just, I'm not trying to prove that I'm fast. I don't need to do that. And also trying to rush through things creates a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors. So I have been making sure that I'm being more gentle on myself. And so like yesterday when I knocked off, what I was going to work on that day, I got through a little bit of things. And that's one of the things about what I do is at the end of the day, it's never done. There's always, I got to come back tomorrow and finish the report or finish the course or, it's very rare that we have an A to a B, A to Z in one day. But I felt like I was at this really good stopping point, and I didn't have to say, "Well, when the kids go to bed tonight, and I get some time, I'm gonna come back to work." No, I'm not gonna go back to work. So don't be afraid to push back on people when they're asking you when something can be done. It's better to have that extra cushion so that you can gradually create and do what you need to do versus trying to just bang that thing out in this like ridiculous time frame. For what? Because you're trying to prove your worth. And here's what happens also. I tell you this all the time, but we teach people how to treat us. And if they think you're the person who can get a week-long project done in 2 days, well, guess what? That's going to become your expectation, but you created that expectation. No one else did. You did. So, the next thing I want to talk about is this really speaks to me. I'm gonna say something. Do things that pull you and not push you. Do things that pull you in, not push you in, right? So what that means, I feel like we live in a culture where we're constantly being rushed to the next thing. Think about it. If you go shopping on July 2nd, 3rd for the 4th of July for your barbecue, right? You're going to the store trying to get your barbecue stuff, your red, white, and blue stuff, whatever. And while you're shopping, this is real, right? This every year I notice this when I'm July 4th shopping. I'm literally in the store picking out some red, white, and blue glow sticks and shit from my kids. And while I'm in the summer section getting these items, the staff at Walmart is putting out school supplies. Like the first week of July when a lot of kids just got out like 2 weeks ago. So that's just the example here, right? And then by the time 4th of July is over, we are in back to school season. The Halloween stuff that they're, sneaking in to if you go to Michael's right now, all the summer stuff is gone. This has been like this since the first day of summer in June. In June. I had made a TikTok about it back in June. The first day of summer back in June, all the summer stuff was like marked down, shoved in the corner, and it is full blown Halloween. And y'all know I love me some Halloween. It's my favorite holiday of the entire year. I live for Halloween. I don't live for Halloween in the summertime. I want to be intentional and present and mindful in the season that I'm in. And I don't want to be thinking about a holiday that's cold, that's rainy, that's gloomy, that's dark, when it's the sun's going down at 9 o'clock and we're in bathing suits swimming in the pool. I don't want to think about that. And it's really a shame that that's the society that we are living in. And I tell you this because y'all know I rant and rave about this every year. They're putting it out earlier and earlier and earlier. Every single year that I go, it seems like it's getting sooner and sooner. The Christmas shit at Hobby Lobby. And look, y'all know I'm into diamond painting. It's like my new obsession, my new hobby. And because I follow all these people now in the diamond painting talk over on TikTok and everything, people are, posting the things that are coming out in the stores. Well, they had posted that there was this diamond painting canvas. So it's a pre-made canvas. So when you're finished, you just stick it on the wall. You don't have to frame it. Amazing. Guys, it's purple and pink and it's nutcrackers. And for those of you that know me, like I am obsessed with nutcrackers. Purple is like my favorite color. I have an entire room at Christmas that's nothing but purple. So I need this. I need this right now. And so I got caught up and sucked into that Christmas in July culture, which I hate. I hate it. However, it's very rare that something like that catches my eye where I feel like I have to have it or I'm going to explode. So what did I do? I go to Hobby Lobby and I buy it and I have it and I'm not going to work on it for a while because I'm not working on Christmas stuff in the summer. I'm not doing it. But it's because of the maniacs that do Christmas in July that you have to like, so then we all get swept up in the way, like we all get swept up in it, right? And it's, come on. But we don't have to be pushed because that's how I feel. I feel like the world and the culture and the society like this that's living 3, 4 months from now is constantly like pushing us, right? I am not buying school supplies right now. My kids don't go back to school till September. I'm not doing it yet. I am not in the mindset to think about lunch boxes and school supplies. I don't want to think about that right now. And I want to do things that are pulling me, not pushing me, right? And what I mean by pulling me. So a couple months back I told you I kept feeling this pull. I felt this calling, this pulling, this thing that just kept pulling me. That's the only way I can think of saying it that was like, I just want to do something artistic. And I'm not an artistic person. So I kept thinking, how, like, I know it has to be like crystals and glitter and, gems and all the things that you guys know that I am obsessed with. And I just didn't know what it was, but I just knew, I just feel like I want to be creative out. And I do a lot of creative things for my job. I create things from nothing, right? But I want to do something with my hands. I want to just get my hands dirty, so to speak, and I want to do creative things like diamond paint. And that became the thing. And I tried one, the pink disco ball over here. And after that, the rest is history. And I have been absolutely obsessed. I have started to meet and build this amazing community of other diamond painters over on TikTok. And it's just been so fun and relaxing. And I'm all in on it. So that pulled me. It didn't push me, right? If you are scheduled every waking moment and minute of your life, take a look at that and figure out where to cut some space. I see parents with kids that their children are in, four and five different activities. And I just think, hmm, how? How are you managing that? Number one, how are you affording that when it's like multiple kids? My rule has been one activity at a time. I've got two kids, so that's two things a week, give or take. And I'm not going to commit to doing more than that. I don't think it's healthy for anyone, especially for kids. Like they need downtime too. And I think people forget that they don't have to be productive academically 24 hours a day, right? We don't need to do that. So let's look for things that pull us, not push us. What does cozy look like for you? What does it look like for you? So for me, cozy is it's diamond paint. Like everything about diamond painting to me passes the cozy vibe. It's an anxiety reducer. It's beautiful. It's blingy. And I think it's the motor skill motion of picking and putting down the drills that it is doing something to my brain. And I'm not the only one that has said this. A lot of people in the community say the same thing. It reduces anxiety. It reduces so many like just the anxious feelings by that repetitive motion because you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it. And you're doing something that if you are a recovering perfectionist, a recovering productivity enthusiast, a recovering busy bee, it still gives you a sense of accomplishment because you're finishing something. And I think when you finish things that you start, it's also a confidence builder, right? Because especially when we struggle with weight, is we always tell ourselves we're going to get to this weight and we're going to get to our goal and then we don't do it. So we start to feel that we never start what we finish and we're never going to be able to. Where I feel like diamond painting truly gives you that sense of accomplishment in a very fun, like low impact type of way. And so that's what cozy looks like to me. Cozy also looks like playing Roblox. Like I started playing Roblox with Kat a couple years back when she got into it because I heard all these negative things. I heard that there was predators and there was like these people were just going to come after your kids, right? And it's just like anything else. You you turn on the parental controls, you limit the chat, you watch what they're doing. People are not just coming into a Roblox game and stealing your kids. That's not how it works. But I got into it and Frank got into it as well so that we could understand what our kids wanted to do. And we weren't ignorant to what this whole thing was. Well, I actually ended up really liking it. And it's so funny because now they got us playing this game called Grow a Garden. It's very viral, it's very popular right now. And while the kids got us into it, we are all in, like it's a little borderline. It's a little borderline, I'm not gonna lie. And we even have a group chat with our niece who's in she's in her 30s, like my older niece, and she has kids that are our kids' ages. And so we have this group chat going and we like whenever there's a new seed available and we're playing and the other person isn't, we put it in the chat. It's just hilarious and we're having so much fun with that. But it's cozy, it's not a violent game. It's like you're growing trees and plants and fruit and stuff like that. And it's just fun and it's an escape. And I like the cozy vibes, the cozy games, the cozy ambiance channels on YouTube. I've shared with you guys many times. That's like one of my things. And lighting has been a really big thing for me lately. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I put LED lights. I put them all around the office. I was hoping that when I make videos, they were going to be more backlit. I just don't think these are the right lights for that vibe. So I'm going to be looking into some other LEDs so I can get more of a pinky purple vibe backlit from behind me. But at night, I love it in here because I turned the main lights off. Of course, the window, there's no sunlight. I have my LED lights on. I have the little cube light behind me that you can see. And the vibes are they're immaculate. And the lighting, just that whole like vibe. We recently put those same kind of lights in the kids' rooms. They have a Hobbies is a narwhal shark underwater theme and Cats is a mermaid theme. Her room is adorable. We did like a mermaid grotto. It's over on my TikTok and Instagram if you haven't seen that. But just lighting, quiet nights at home. I'm really embracing my introverted self because I am an introvert and not fighting it and saying, "Oh, you're a dork if you want to do these things," or "You're a nerd," or "You're lame," "You're a loser." No, this is just where I'm at. And I still go out. I still, go places and do things. I never want to be a homebody 24/7. That's just not me. But, but, these quiet nights at home have been really good for my soul. And I have to say, while we're talking, that I think also, a lot of this shift came for me in April when Chewy passed away. It's been 3 months already, which is just wild. July 4th was 3 months. And I think that's where this pull also started to come from even more because he wasn't here. And that was what I would do. Like I shared with you guys, like once everybody went to bed, and it was me and my dog. And I think that's where a lot of this has stepped in as well, is to fill that hole and that void. And I have to like pat myself on the back because I think a past version of Amy would have gained weight, would have used food, right, to cope with mourning of a mate. Like that's a really big loss, right? But I didn't. I coped with diamond painting and I'm still going strong with that. So I want you to also realize that cozy moments, you don't need to earn them. There's no prerequisite. They're not a reward, they're a tool. And so often when we are type A, productivity driven, you know, all or nothing people, we don't think we deserve to do things unless we've earned it, right? That comes from weight and diet culture as well. Well, I didn't deserve to eat this today, or I don't deserve to go get my nails done because I didn't, meet my weight goal for the week. So think of it as not a reward, it's a tool. It is a tool to restore yourself so that you can keep going, so that you can pour your cup. This all goes back to the guiding principle of feed your soul. This essentially all is feeding your soul so that you are not emotionally starved. And when you are emotionally starved, what do? You emotionally eat to fill the hunger, right? So when you are craving, when you honor this quiet, you honor the stillness, the softness, the coziness, and you stop chasing this constant overstimulation and emotional eating, your life is going to transform. It's truly going to transform. So, as we start to wrap up, cozy doesn't have to be the opposite of hustle. It can also be your recovery. So when you were in a busy season, when you were in a hustle mode and this season of grind, right? Like the cozy things are your recovery so that you don't reach out and emotionally eat, so that you don't fall into that dark spiral of anxiety and depression. Like you use these things to feed your soul. And cozy, again, does not mean lazy. It does not mean lazy. It means finally listening to your nervous system, your soul, and your body, and honoring the rest. Rest does not mean we sleep. Yes, that is part of rest. But rest also means turning off the notifications, turning off the Slack messages till tomorrow morning, not checking email, allowing yourself to zone out for a little while. That is also restful behavior. And I want you to think about what cozy looks like to you. What is currently pulling you in that direction? What do you want to be pulled into, not pushed into? So I encourage you to think about that. You can also share that with me over on Instagram or TikTok. I am on both platforms now. So lastly, I just want to remind you to make sure that you are joined on my email list so that you don't miss an episode or any notifications. Also, if you want to work with me, you can head over to irresistibleicing.com/course, sign up for the self-study online course that also now comes with a private VIP podcast. So you can pop that podcast in anytime, anywhere, listen to the course on the go. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I'm wishing you lots of health and wealth, and I will catch you in the next episode. Until then, stay irresistible. Bye, guys.